All right, everybody, welcome back to our social media network marketing class. This is week 4, and 4, right? Yeah, week 4. And we are going to be going through, basically, it's reaching out with engagement, okay? So when people comment on your post, right? You just worked all this time putting up a post, and you've got some people that are liking it, some people that are commenting on it. What the heck do you do with these people, right? So you don't want to like jump on them. You don't want to give them a novel or whatever. So what's the best way to reach out to these people? First and foremost, always reach out privately. Okay, so when somebody says something like, oh, what is this? And then you just write, it's Plexus in your comments. One of the first things that some people are going to do is they're going to go Google Plexus, and they'll find anything from Plexus is the best to Plexus is the worst. You know, like they'll find a whole plethora of stuff, because no matter what you're doing, no matter what business you're in, even if it's not network marketing, there's going to be, you know, things that are negative out there. There's things that are negative out there about drinking too much water. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. So there's ways that you can keep control of the conversation and keep control of what's happening within that interaction, so that they're getting the right information and the best information in their hands. So first of all, I'm not trying to be secretive or manipulative. Like I'll flat out, you know, let everybody know this is Plexus and I love Plexus, and I'll tell everybody all day I take Plexus products. But I think when it comes to somebody commenting on your post, oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, girl, I will message you all the information. And there's just so much to tell you. And so then you're going to jump into your private messages. And so simple little verbiage that's easy, that's like really, it doesn't put any pressure on them, is like, oh my gosh, hey, Nancy, thank you so much for liking my post or commenting on my post. Let's start with comments. Thank you so much for commenting on my post. Whenever people comment on my post, it's just, it boosts my post and it supports my business. So thank you so much for doing that. I know I was talking about, oh, hold on. Oh, I got to send her the passcode. Sorry, everybody. We're going to pause on this 1 second. One, 3, 4, 9, 9. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So I like to reach out. I think I'd already mentioned, like, hey, thank you so much for commenting on my posts. It means a lot to me whenever people support my posts and comment on it. It boosts it so that more people see it. So thank you so much for that support. Also, I know I touched a little bit on how this has helped me with my migraines. Is that something that you're also struggling with too? Or I know I talked a lot about gut health in this post, and I firmly believe that everybody can benefit from gut health. Are you currently taking anything that helps assist your body and promote a healthy gut? And you can just ask those questions right there, and it's not pressure, it's non-committal. And if they're just like, I'm good, I honestly just, love what you're doing and I want to support you. Guess what? The best thing to say is, great, thank you so much for the support. If you do know somebody that could benefit from something that could help them in symptom A, B, C, D, E, please feel free to send them my way. And what I found with doing it this way a lot is, if I say something like, great, absolutely, thank you so much for the support in the meantime, and I appreciate it as much as you can. If you happen to know somebody that is struggling with their energy levels, or sleeping well at night, or digestive issues, or migraines, or even allergies, like, please let me know, because I've seen such a huge improvement with the connection between gut health and these symptoms or whatever. And a lot of times those people will come back and go, oh, it helps with energy levels too. Like I could use some of that. Tell me more about that. And then that'll kind of spur on that conversation from there. So anytime somebody likes or comments on my post, that's what I do. I send that message. And honestly, it doesn't really look much different between comments and likes. If they're commenting exactly like, what is this? I'll reach out to that person. Hey, Nancy, thank you so much for commenting on my post. Again, it always, supports my business when people comment. So I so appreciate that. I've actually been taking supplements from Plexus, which is a clean plant-based company. They're very much about getting your body healthy from the inside out. Have you ever heard of Plexus before? And because I've done before where it's like, hey, before I get to the company, let me tell you about this. And that honestly puts a red flag up to people. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't love to put the word Plexus in the actual public thing, right? Because immediately people are going to go Google and find a bunch of stuff or whatever. But when it comes to my reaching out in Messenger, I don't want to sit there and make this like a slimy, sleazy, weird red flag thing. I'm just going to tell them flat out, hey, I've been taking products from Plexus, which is a gut health focused company. And, just keep like talking about the benefits of Plexus, right? So it's gut health focused, it's clean, it's plant-based. And the more that you can focus in on giving them that information right up front, the more positive experience they're going to have from the get-go. So as far as with people like your post, like I said, it's the same kind of concept. Thank you so much for, liking my post. Any bumps I get on that post helps me so much. So I so appreciate the support. Do you struggle with any of the things that I had mentioned? Is this something you might be interested in? And I never really say, or were you just trying to support me? Were you just supporting me? I don't really say that either, because then, a lot of them are like, oh, I'm just supporting you. I want to ask that question. I want to ask like an honest, is this something that you struggle with? No, that's not really something I struggle with. I just wanted to, I just love what you're doing. Great. I so appreciate that, and I appreciate more in the future. In the meantime, if you know anyone that does struggle with A, B, C, D, or E, please reach out to me and let me know. So that's the amazing thing about when people like or comment on your post, is it doesn't necessarily have to be a sign me up, I'm interested, tell me more info. Like, you can reach out to people with any of these. The other thing is with your stories. Okay. I've told Brittany this before, so she knows I'm kind of open book as far as this goes, but she was one of my stories girls, right? So when I post to stories, it's kind of that same thing. So we post on our stories, right? We've got like our 5 or 6 slides about Plexus and then a call to action at the end. And a lot of people will not necessarily vote on the call to action. Okay, they don't, but they're watching your stories. And here's the thing, they can very easily swipe over to the next story and go to the next one if they're not interested in what you're saying. However, if they have watched all 5 of your stories, they're looking at something, right? They're watching something in those stories. Something is piquing their interest. So what I like to do is I like to go first and foremost off all the people who watched all 5 of my slides that had to do with Plexus. Even if they didn't comment on my poll or anything like that, I'll go through there. Who watched all 5, who looked at and watched all 5 slides on my story? Okay, perfect. I see. I'm going to use Brittany as an example because this is exactly how it went down and she could tell you honestly. Okay, so Brittany Carruthers watched all 5 stories. So there's something in there that's piquing her interest. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll message Brittany and say, Brittany, thank you so much for watching my stories. I know that this is something that's it's new information out there and people are just getting to learn about it. I don't know if this is necessarily what I said exactly, but something, along these lines. Have you been researching anything about gut health and, the link to so many common symptoms that we experience every day? And then Brittany didn't say anything. Brittany didn't message me back. And so I was like, that's okay. She's clearly interested in something because she watched all 5 stories. And so I went in a couple days later and, hey, Brittany, I didn't know if you saw my message from the other day. I just wanted to check in. I know life is crazy busy. So I just wanted to recheck in. Is this anything that you might be interested in? Because I would love to send you more info if you're open up to it. And then she messaged me back and was like, hey, actually, yes. And now I have Brittany on my team and I couldn't be happier because we have so much fun together now. So that's the thing about stories is she never voted on my poll, you guys. She never voted on my poll. And if I'd have just gone on who votes on my poll, I would have missed out on having such an awesome rock star on my team. So you have to go through and see who's watching you. This is more than just who's commenting or who's liking, but who's watching, okay? I know Christine said that she had a post up that didn't get any engagement on it. And the next day she had 2 people reach out to her and ask her about that post that she put up. So keep in mind that when you are putting up posts, it's not just about who likes and comments, but it is about who's watching. If you're going live and people watch a good portion of your live, they're interested in something. reach out to them, even if they didn't say a word. Okay. Even if they didn't like it, reach out to them. There's a way that you can reach out to people in a genuine way. And a lot of it is just thanking them for the support. And honestly, even if that's all they're doing is just supporting your business, it's good to reach out to them and thank them for doing that, right? And then also it opens up that conversation. Well, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for the support. I love having my friends, link arms with me. And if you know anyone that deals with A, B, C, D, or E, please send them my way. I would love to chat more with them. Okay. And again, that usually opens up some type of conversation. Or if it's just like, great, I'll let you know. Awesome. Thank you. Guess what? That door is still open. Okay. And that door is still open. They didn't say, please don't ever message me about this. I will never do this. Please don't. To me, that door is still open. And I have gone back through that door before and followed up with them, 6 months down the road and been like, hey, I just wanted to circle back around to see if this was anything that you had a couple friends or whatever that might be struggling with these same types of things that we had talked about before. Just wanted to circle back around and see if this was anything that I could send you information on. And then I've had people say, you know what? Yeah, actually, since we talked the last time, the last couple months, I've been feeling draggy, or whatever. And do you have anything for that? Yes, girl, I do. Let me tell you all about my supplements. Okay, so you can circle back around. So this is a way that you can create engagement in a genuine way without having to go through and just message people out of the blue. Okay, and honestly, there's a lot of times where you can just go through the people that have liked and commented on your posts and watched your stories or whatever. There's a way that right there, that almost keeps you in a warm market, right? So that you don't have to be messaging people out of the blue. If you're staying consistent and you're reaching out to people and you're engaging with other people and they're watching your stories, that's a way for you to create conversations without it having to be ice cold messages and conversations. So they're watching you, right? They're watching you. They're interested in something that you're doing, or even if they're not interested in Plexus, they're watching you and they trust you and they love you enough to have to listen to what you have to offer them. So this is a good way for you to create a funnel. We talk about our funnel, and our funnel is our people that, and honestly, I don't love the term funnel, but I don't know another way that you would put it. But this is your funnel is basically these people that you're getting in that are potentials, right? And then once they get through the funnel, that's when, they've now joined your team. But a lot of people, our funnel is huge. We have people stuck in the funnel. We've talked to them before, but we just haven't quite gotten them to, get on products yet. And so your funnel, you need to be adding people to your funnel at all times. You never have too many people in your funnel. Okay. Ask Ashley Heron. You never have too many people in your funnel. That girl has so many potentials that are ready to go at any time. And you know what? She is putting in the consistency every single day and talking to these people in her funnel, but she's constantly adding more people to her funnel. Okay. So as long as you have a way to stay organized, even if it's pen and paper with a list of potentials and follow-ups or whatever, sorry, my thing just fell. You can always keep adding to that funnel. So this is a great way for you to keep engagement going, keep adding to that funnel. And then you've got genuine conversations going with these people. What I would also be doing is if you have people that are liking your posts or commenting on your posts, or they're watching your stories, write all of those people down and start engaging on their Facebook as well. Okay. Or their Instagram or whatever. Start engaging with what they're doing. Make that part of your work every single day, is go through, because you want to start developing those relationships and creating those relationships. You don't always have to. Again, I didn't do that with Brittany. I didn't go through and make this like a, weeks long process. I just went straight to her and said, hey, I saw that you watch my stories. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. I put a lot of heart and soul into the content. So when people actually appreciate it, it means something. Was there anything that, piqued your interest or anything that looked like you could benefit from? Did you struggle with any of these symptoms, whatever that might be? And what you can do is, like, a lot of times I've taken that same slide, if I put up a slide about signs of candida overgrowth, I'll take that same exact slide and pop it in and be like, here's that one slide. Did you resonate with any of these symptoms? Like, do you find yourself dealing with any of these on a regular basis? And if they say no, chances are they're lying, because there's something that unless they are on really good gut health supplements, which they could be, but there's something that they're struggling with. There's a pain point somewhere. And I love that kind of stuff because it really helps to identify that right off the bat, and it kind of strikes up conversations. You can also add people, like I said, into gut health and happiness. If they're not ready for conversation, this is a great tool to get people into gut health and happiness. So taking them from somebody who's just watching your stories and getting them plugged into our community, that's a huge jump, you guys. If they're getting plugged into our community, that's a huge jump for you. And that's a huge advantage. So if they, no, I was just watching, thank you so much. That's totally fine. And I so appreciate that. In the meantime, if you have someone that struggles, blah, 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 please let me know. And I would love to add you to a group. You can totally just be a fly on the wall if you don't mind, but I would love to add you to this group. It basically just shows how people are benefiting. And then if you have somebody that you think of, based on a testimonial you see, I'd love to chat with them. Or, and if I see something that makes me think of you, I'd love to tag you in it. And then let them know you tag them. So getting them involved in gut health and happiness. Again, I need to stress, if you add someone to gut health and happiness, please let your upline know so that we can make sure that they get approved. Because that's not something, honestly, there's so many admins in that group. There's not like a couple that are watching that group every single day to watch for new joins. That's something you need to kind of let someone know. And like I said, it's such a massive group. So it's hard to kind of keep track of how many people are getting added in at all times. But so that's a good way to go from someone who's watching me to someone who's now a part of my community very easily, very not a lot of pressure. It's not committal at all. Okay. So does anyone have any questions on anything so far? Because I want to wrap this up soon, but I have a couple more things I want to cover. I want to see if anyone's got anything they want to add.
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
Other than, okay, full disclosure and, true confession time, I don't have Instagram set up yet. So I'm not doing I haven't done stories yet. But so in Facebook land, is the only way we know people are watching in that scene, right? Is that the only way we actually know?
Yeah. Yes.
If people have looked at a post or
yeah. And honestly, I mean, if it's just a post, there's not really going to be a way that you can see who all's just seen your post or clicked on them unless they like or comment. That's Facebook and Instagram. You can set up a professional dashboard with Instagram. We'll get to that down the road. And that's a whole different thing where you can kind of see people, but even then, they're trying to weed out people that are super spammy, which I appreciate. They're trying to weed out all your little advertisements, and every time you see their advertisement, them running and jumping out to you. So, which I appreciate. But that's why stories are so important, because then you can actually see who is watching you. So that's why it's very important. And I've in the past, stories are not easy. No, I take that back. They're easy, but they do take a little bit of time, and it takes a mindset switch. Okay. So it's really simple. It's as simple as, I've said it before, me taking this picture right here and then, pulling up Instagram, taking a picture of me teaching on social media today, whatever. And it takes 2 seconds, but it does take remembering to do it. When I'm on a walk with my kids, snapping a picture and oh, it's a beautiful day, whatever, and sending that to my stories. And then if you guys are not in One Plexus Instagram stories group, that's a really good one to grab onto. I think Kristen might have just talked about it in here a second. Yeah, you can do stories in Facebook too. So there's more options in Instagram. You can do more, but like Kristen said, this is where you can start adding stories in Facebook right now and start getting used to it. And then when you go over to Instagram, you'll already basically know the basics of building a story. There'll just be more options that you can add to. So I can show you how to do all of that. Here's the thing. I know everybody asks, and I'm just going to tell you right now, because I'm going to do a share screen, I think next week, and we'll go through stories and how to do them. But I want you guys to start playing with stories this week. This was your homework, is start playing with stories. So if you go into stickers, that's where you're going to find a lot of what people are looking for. Your polls, your questions, a lot of that stuff is in stickers, or if you're in Instagram, or if you're going into Facebook. So when you click stickers, say you have something that you're like, oh, this looks so good. This is a picture of this really yummy dish I got at a restaurant. Go into stickers in Facebook and then go to gifts and go to the search bar and search yum. or something, and you'll see all these different things come up for yummy. And then you can take that sticker, move it around on your story and post it wherever you want it and send it on the way. It's super easy. You don't even have to think of your own verbiage. There's all these little stickers and stuff that you can do. The other thing you can do is if there's, like I said, there's the One Plexus Instagram stories group. If you want to be added to that, let your sponsor know they can add you to that. But what you can also do is, if there is like a lot of the diamonds I know have different stories and stuff that they post that aren't even in that group, and they're beautiful and amazing. And so if I find one that I really love that a diamond posted, I'll go through and I'll screenshot it, edit out, for the love, edit out the top of your phone on that screenshot. I've seen where people like do their screenshots, it's got their battery and the time and all that at the top. I'm like, edit that out, okay? Just crop it down, and then you can use those same stories. They don't care. You don't even have to ask. I will say this, please boost their story and vote on their poll or whatever, just to help with that. But because remember, that's how we thank people for their content, is we either we don't even like, we comment or we vote on the poll or whatever. So please thank people in that way. But take screenshots of that. And if they have a poll and say their poll asks a question that's different than you want to ask, that's fine. You can just take your poll and sticker it over their poll in that. Okay. If they've got something on there that has to do with, if they have like a little picture of their kid up in the corner or something, you can take a sticker and put it over their kid, like there's little things or a picture of your kid and put it over there. Like there's things you could do to change it. For the most part, you don't need to change those types of things, because they try to keep them just very simple and clean and generic. And I'm going to tell you, the simpler and the cleaner that you can keep your stories, the more people are going to look at them. If there's so many words and so many things happening and it just looks super like graffiti and spammy, remember we talked about graffiti on our storefront, like they're just going to go right past that. But if you're keeping it simple and clean and easy to read, then people are going to be more apt to watch all through your stories. Again, I try not to there are some stories that are just so good and they're like 9-10 slides long, but I try to keep my Plexus stories shorter. If I can keep it to like 5 or 6 slides, that's what I try to do, because I find that I get more people to watch the whole thing and they're more apt to be engaged in my stories if I'm keeping it that 5 to 6 slides. Because if it starts to get to be too much, like, okay, this is too much information, I cannot read through all, whatever. They'll ask you more questions if they have more questions. Just keep it simple. And then as people are watching, but that's why I love stories, because you can see who's watching you, and that's where you can grab a really good amount of people from who's watching in those stories. So I know Kristen has gotten a lot of people interested from just people that are watching her stories. And so that's been a huge game changer for her and her business. And it just helps. I know we all hit that wall. We're like, who else do I have to talk to? I've talked to everybody and I don't know who to talk to anymore, which is not true, but it's easy to get in that mindset, right? You've not talked to all 7 billion people in the world, but how do you find more people? So this is where stories comes in handy. So you throw some stories up, see who's watching you, reach out to those people. You're going to get more people from those stories. I guarantee you. Okay. The other thing with stories is make sure that we've got a couple more minutes. Make sure that before you just throw up a bunch of Plexus stuff, make sure you've got something personal on there, and like where they're seeing your face and seeing your environment or whatever, so that they see you. And then you're going to your Plexus stuff. If it's just immediately Plexus stuff, they're just going to assume you're just one big commercial and just, scroll on. So right before I put up Plexus something, I put up 2. That way they all kind of expire at the same time. And then I don't put up any new Plexus stuff until my old Plexus stuff has already expired. Okay, so after 24 hours, everything expires and goes away. Keep up on those stories, but wait for yesterday's Plexus stuff to go away before you put up your new Plexus stuff, and then add another couple personal things, put up your Plexus stuff, and then keep going on with your stories throughout the day, so that there's always something new for them to watch. You don't want to do all of your stories at one point in the day and not do stories the rest of the time. The reason is people are going to watch that and then it goes away. So at the top where it shows like, at the top of your Facebook, it shows stories, right? And it's showing everybody's stories. They're basically showing you stories that you've not seen before. Once you've seen that story, they're not going to show you that anymore. So you aren't even in their stories list anymore if you don't keep up with your stories. Okay. So later that day, do something else. Do something that's going to keep you right at that top. bar right there that's going to keep you fresh, keep you so that they're constantly watching you. Okay. And then go through and see who is watching all of my stories, write those people down and reach out to those people the way that we talk to. So stories are so important for engagement, and getting you to get in. And the thing about stories that I love is you're already in your inbox, right? You're already in your inbox so that you guys can have a conversation, and they can give you some, if they want to divulge personal information, they can, they don't have to. But I mean, a lot of people aren't going to tell you about how they spend all day pooping on the toilet in public, right? And that they need control of that. But they feel a little bit more comfortable telling you things like that when it's just you and them in their inbox. A lot of people aren't going to tell you about their financial issues in public, but they will tell you if it's just you and them in their inbox. You can have a little bit more one-on-one conversation. Not only that, but it's helping each other to trust each other and just getting a relationship outside of just social media fake world anyways. Like, I appreciate the relationships that you're able to build in direct messaging as opposed to trying to do everything on Facebook. So when it comes to people commenting on your post and someone commented, what do? Don't ever give them all the information in your post. Okay. In the comments, don't do that. Not only that, but you don't know what information they need. You want to talk to them about what they're even interested in. We could puke information at them all day long, and that doesn't matter. If it's not what they need, then they don't care. So just say, I will reach out to you and I will message you, or, hey, I just sent you a message. I'd love to chat more with you, whatever. Don't be that person. I'm just going to say it. Don't be that person that's like, PM sent, PM sent, PM sent all down your thing. That looks so spammy and so yucky. Don't do that. Have a personal, like, hey, I sent you a message. Let me know if you see it. Or, yes, I would love to chat with you more. I sent you a message. Let me, whatever. Like, make it personal, make it real to them. Don't just PM sent, PM sent, PM sent, PM sent all down your comments, because that just looks really spammy. Anyone have any questions? Remember, we're in the business of authentic. We're in the business of relationships. We're in the business of wanting transformation. We're not just trying to get a quick transaction here. Okay. We want to actually develop relationships with the people that we're trying to do life with, because the hope is that we can help them hit their goals and that we can do life with them, right? We're not just looking for a quick sale. I want to do life with these people. So I want to get to know them on a personal level before I'm just throwing a bunch of products and a sale at them. So this is where it's good to go into your inbox so that you can actually have a personal conversation. Did anyone have any questions on today? Any comments, anything to add?
Yeah, what are the 5 most, I mean, you said 5 things and then you said A, B, C, D, E. Because like what I find is if I have people who go, I don't have digestive issues.
Yeah.
I don't have blood sugar issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what are 5? I mean, because we can list a bazillion
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah.
What are the top 5 you would suggest that when we are reaching out that we say, hey, if you know someone who has these, what would that be?
Well, sometimes I look at their Facebook to see if they've been complaining about anything recently. Honestly, if they're like,
right.
night 4 of no sleep or whatever, then easily I'm going to talk about who struggle staying asleep at night. So I'll go through and kind of see if there's anything that they're complaining about. But I would say, I don't know if there's necessarily a top 5, but I would say digestive issues is a big one. Migraines is a big one. You hear me talk about migraines a lot. Another one would be allergies. Seasonal or food allergies is another one. Ashley just put hers up. I want to see what she said. So I'm going to read Ashley's too. This is really good. Thanks so much for replying. If you know anyone that is working to achieve health goals or may struggle with weight issues, hormone balance, sleep issues, sugar cravings, migraines, digestive issues, autoimmune disorders, or would like to supplement their income, I'd love the referral. Of course, if you decide this is something you'd like to try, I'd love the opportunity to chat a little bit more with you. So yes, so there's a really good list right there. I honestly, for me, would also add in, so a big one that I add in is energy, because that's what I think a lot of people are looking for in this day and age, because we're all addicted to sugar on some level, and sugar makes you tired. And so energy is a big one that I go for too. But that list that Ashley just gave you is a pretty good one. I try to keep mine a little short. So, for me, my go-tos are probably migraines, energy, sleep, digestive issues, or mental fog. like mental, like I need more focus, brain fog, whatever. Those are probably the ones that I go to the most. But like I said, a lot of times I kind of change it depending on, sometimes I'll even say, or looking for, a way to keep their kids healthy or to fill nutritional gaps in their kids. I mean, it kind of depends on who I'm talking to a lot.
Right. Okay.
Is that a good list? Does that help?
Yeah. I know that, there are times I will list a few things and then that person will go, oh, I don't deal with any of that. But yet later then, you can go, oh, but you have this, which is probably connected to that, but they probably
Right.
don't know that. You know what I mean?
So that's where like blood sugar issues is one that I don't really mention because a lot of people don't know they have blood sugar issues. They know they have symptoms that are linked to blood sugar issues and they think they don't have them, but they actually do, so
Right.
that's where like something that's like a specific, I try not to be so specific, but more generic. So that's where like migraines, gosh, that could be linked to a bunch of different issues with your gut, and most people struggle with migraines on some level or another, especially with us all working on Zoom on a regular basis and being on our phones and, all the intake of sugar and stuff that we have now. Like most people are struggling with migraines or something on some level. All right, Kristen, her go-tos are weight issues, energy issues, skin issues, migraine, autoimmune, and allergies. Skin issues, that's another big one. Skin issues. So, sorry, I'm going to shut this door really quick because it's a little bit loud. So skin issues is another one that you can touch on because that could mean anything to somebody. That could mean acne. That could mean eczema. That could mean rashes. That could mean a lot of things for them. So that's a really good one to add in as well. Does anyone else have some that they like to throw out there that they want to add in? Those are both really, really good.
I do have another question though.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
We were talking on our personal yesterday, because when I'm reading and I'm trying to follow, I'm a rule follower, so it's very hard for me when to sometimes fall out of like, okay, Plexus says to do this way, so this is the way I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you listen to a diamond and they say, well, I always do this way. And then I listen to someone else who I know is being successful and they're like, well, I never do that, but I do this. And I'm just kind of like, so it leaves me kind of, I think, fumbling and kind of trying to figure it out on the fly. And I feel very insecure with that. Raw and real, people, raw and real. So when it's hey, send a video, always make sure you get them to watch the video. And so I'll be like, hey, can I send you a video? So many sweet people on my friends list go, yeah, I'll watch a video.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happens. And then I will say, hey, did you watch the video? And what you told me yesterday is, I don't depend on the video. And I'm like, okay, so where do I go from there? So I send the video and then they've never responded, or they say, yeah, I didn't have time to watch it or whatever. How do I re-engage that conversation to kind of let them know it's in the video without making it a great big thing?
So a few things. One is, this is where it can get hairy when you do watch a lot of different things and a lot of different trainings. There's going to have a lot of different things that different teams have done, that different diamonds have done, that whatever. I would say duplicate what your upline is doing. Always just duplicate what your upline is doing, because whatever they're doing is working for them. So duplicate what your upline is doing. And then just be careful, like take things, when I'm watching trainings, a lot of it is, I'll listen to like from other teams, for instance, I'll listen to like what they have and I'll listen to the message. But as far as the systems that it involves, I just am going to duplicate what my team does. So take what they have to say, but apply it to your current system. So our system with our team, and this is even corporate wide, is send, share, invite, right? So send the video, share a testimony, invite them to be a part of the process. So invite them to life transformation, invite them to a story, their own story of hope. Send, share, invite. So send, it'd be sending the video. Not everybody's going to have the same video. Okay. So keep that in mind too. You have to, and I say that because some people are more interested in income. Some people are more interested in products, right? So for the most part, you just need to have like, I would say 2 to 4 videos in your pocket that are ready and loaded for you to send to people, and know those videos. Okay, so have those 2 to 4 videos and send them out. When you send them out, don't rely on that video. I don't want someone watching a video to be the difference between whether they ever get on products or not. Because I know for me, if you're asking me to watch a video, it's probably not going to happen, to be very honest. It is now because this is what I do. But before, I would not have watched a video. I've got 4 little babies at home. Where do you think I'm going to have the time to watch this video? Let's be real. And so, but there are other people who love videos. They love watching videos. It's easy for them to watch videos. So I always offer that. And to be honest, a lot of moms will watch the video. It's just not right that second. They can't watch it right that second, but they will get to it later. So I don't want to wait for them to watch that video to be what determines whether we're helping them on this new journey or not. So what I'll do is I'll send that video out, and then I'll ask another question that even goes outside of that video. Here's that video. Let me know what you think about it. How long have you been struggling with weight issues? If they've told me they've been struggling with their weight, how long has this been a struggle for you? And kind of ask from there. Yeah, Kristen will say, yeah, I always ask if they have a few minutes to watch the video in hopes they'll watch it right away, which is, I know what a lot of people, that's what a lot of people will train too, is like, ask them right there, do you have a few minutes right now to watch a video? And then, yes, I do. Okay, great. I'm going to send this off, and I'm going to, check on you in 10 minutes or whatever. But then I always ask question right afterwards for them to have to come back to. So send the video, ask if they have time to watch the video, and like you said, most people are like, yeah, I'd love to watch this video. Ask them if they have that couple minutes right then. And then if they are like, oh, I'm at work right now, I can't really watch it, but I'll watch it later tonight. Then you can say, okay, I'll send it a little bit later when you've got some time to watch it, because I don't want it to get buried, but I'd love to hear more about blah, blah, blah. So you're still sending the video, but we're not getting hung up at the video. Does that make sense? Because we can get so many people that are just stuck at the video and they've not watched the video, and now you're just stuck here. I don't want you to get stuck there. Keep that conversation going. I've signed a lot of people that, we finally in the enrollment process. I'm like, did you get a chance to watch that video? No, I never did. Okay, I want you to watch it really quick. Let's watch it. I want you to see it and tell me what you think. And then they're like, yes, this is something I definitely need, or whatever, So I like them to see that video, and I like to refer back to the video, but I don't want that to be a hang up. Share invites. So send a video, share a testimonial. You can go into Gut Health and Happiness and look up what they're dealing with. So weight loss, weight issues. We're already talking about that one. So go in there, look up weight loss and weight issues. I know that Christine is so good at this, right? She's been looking for testimonials to send to people, and that's something that she's doing really well at. So what you can do is you can go into Gut Health and Happiness. You can actually copy and paste from there and just send it to them in Messenger and say, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Here's a testimonial from somebody right on our team that's seeing, benefits. I thought of you. Does any of this sound like something you might struggle with? And a lot of times you'll see people be like, yes, I do have weight issues. And you know what? I have been having this weird achy joint thing too, or whatever. And then you can it sometimes opens up more stuff so you can see better what they're dealing with. So share invite, send a video, share a testimonial, even if it's your own, and invite them to be a part of the process. It doesn't have to be longer than that. You guys, you don't have to talk to them for days and days and days and days and days on end. There is a point where you just need to be bold and ask if they're ready to jump in. That was a good question, because I know a lot of people do get hung up with the video. And that's been a thing lately. I'm like, don't get hung up with the video. I want you to send the video. I want you to get used to it, because you're also duplicating this, right? You have to consider every single person that you're talking to. You have to imagine that this person is somebody that may join your team and actually want to share down the road. And you don't want them to feel like what you're doing is too difficult for them. Another reason, if you were on the call last night, I said, keep it simple. Do not do a ton of talking and just listen to people. Because if you are doing so much talking and you're spouting off all this knowledge and you are listing, you're giving them a novel about gut health, and they're going to be like, there is no way I can do this. Like, I saw what all you have to do, and there's no way I can share this. Okay. That makes it too complicated for people. You want this to duplicate down. So only be doing things that are going to duplicate well. Sorry, this is getting outside of engagement with comments on your post, but we're all a team, and I think this is something we could all benefit from. So I think if you are making it too difficult, they're going to be less inclined to jump in and want to do this with you. Where if you keep it easy, here's a video, here's a testimonial. What do you think? That's easy. Anybody can do that. Anyone can send a video. And then when it comes to, hey, you want to share and you've got 3 friends, remember that same video I sent you? Send them that video. once you've opened up that conversation. So keeping things as simple as possible, using third-party tools. And again, it's good to have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes acting like you're an expert or being an expert, even if you are one, sometimes can shoot you in the foot when it comes to people wanting to join your team and do this alongside you. Does anyone have any other questions? That was a good one. All righty. I'm going to go ahead and stop.